Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. Hey, I'm your host for L3 Productions. You are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 10. I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can share it, and you can leave your comments below. Subscribe if you are new. So let's get into this episode. I don't know how much time I'm going to spend on this episode, but we're going to see. But it looks like story is being shifted and moving, all because of Angela Oakley. And it looks like she knows her position and spot while others get to flop around. The only thing I'll say about the first scene is with Kelly and her children. She had to downsize because of this divorce, and it looks like they're looking for a different space now because all of these personalities, and it's just too close and clamped in. It gave me the feeling also at how the children were speaking with Kelly that they got this same gel as with Giselle and her children. That same, we kind of roast mom while in how we would say it as giving the truth concerning their mom. So that's all I really wanted to talk about that. We're going to this next scene that all I got to say is, for the people that love the Porsches, the Shamias, and whomever they're hanging out with in Atlanta, good for you. I would never want to be friends. I don't think I want to be seen with them. If I see them in public, I'll say hi, but because I recognize them or something. But no, y'all hypocritical and just not good people. Not good people. I don't get it. So nobody's actually established who has invited whom. All we know is Shamia shows up in all of this Chanel stuff. And I guess that's the Atlanta thing that y'all need to show labels to act like y'all really got some money or stuff. I know it's around that area where y'all do that stuff. Y'all gotta be flashy. So Ralph is there. Shamia says that she doesn't think that there's anything wrong with her meeting with Ralph because she was a part of a podcast beforehand with him. And they throw back a scene of when they were filming together on some type of podcast. I don't understand how that's any different because with Drew being with Dennis. The only time Portia had a problem is when Dennis wanted to come on this show to film them doing music. We haven't seen no personal one-on-one scenes. Nobody's been talking about Portia as far as between each other. From what I've seen, if y'all seen something else, or y'all seen some unseen footage, let me know. It's been professional. It's been about the music. Portia turned it into something different. So anyways, Ralph has, I guess Ralph is the one that invited Shamia along. I don't know. One minute she says she doesn't think anything's wrong with her being invited and talking with Ralph. And then the next minute she needs backup. But we'll get to that backup in just one second. So Ralph is doing a new podcast that has something to do with Battle of the Sexes meets Family Feud. She said that that's something that she could possibly be into, And then they start talking about Drew. Because she said, I was introduced to you through your wife. Do you see all of the hypocrisies that are going on? You were only introduced to this man through Drew. Just as Dennis was introduced to Drew through his ex-girlfriend or fiance. I'll put that stamp on you. I don't get where y'all fandoming all of this. Drew is so out of line for what she's doing. And y'all doing the same thing. And you're saying, well, she could do it, then I could do it. If that's your argument, which is probably what you're going to do, why don't y'all keep it business? Next thing you know, here comes Perfect Portia. Shamia says that she needed somebody there to corroborate her story. Meaning she doesn't want nobody telling anybody about her being with Ralph someplace. But when Angela tells you about how you are and how you behaved when your person was... I don't get this. Wait, because I got some more to say. Because how in the world is it was just a hee ha ha when Portia said that I can F Charles? But it's not a hee ha ha when Drew said about Pilar's tuition. Y'all are weird and crazy. I would never be friends with y'all. What for? Y'all have this code as mean girls. Shout out to Dr. Heavenly and to Married Medicine. Y'all have this code of mean girl that's just so weird and crazy. Y'all can do stuff, but how dare Drew do something, or someone you think is beneath you do anything? So they start asking all of these inappropriate questions. First, Perfect Portia wants to ask questions in regards to Dennis sent a text saying that Drew was offering sex to do music, and Dennis said, "No, I'm going to. I just want money." So now Drew is willing to do something strange for a piece of change just to get her music out with an unknown music producer. And I think that you're twisting up whatever Dennis said. Now, you don't show the text. We're just going by mouth, word of mouth, even though you're holding up your phone. How come you didn't show that text? So it's hard to believe Portia. It's hard to believe Dennis. And Shamia gonna go and run after whatever Portia says. And what anybody says about Portia and what's going on. Y'all are so weird and crazy. And all I can say is that you can tell the people that are on the show that are full of lust and perversion. If that's the only thing that y'all can come up with. But I think really, Portia, what you're trying to do is deflect off of you to try to paint Drew as this whore. When we're looking at the one. Ooh, I just lost the Perfect Portia fans. I know I did. You don't want this stain in badge, but you're still going around saying that you can F people's husbands. You've done it twice that we know of. So then you feed ammo to this man that is divorcing your whatever friend or whatever you know her to be. She's a woman. After you know what you're going through with your own marriage with Simon. And she's a girl's girl. So Portia fans, I want to know, is Portia a girl's girl? We find out that Drew is not an ambassador for Go Naked Hair anymore. They terminated it, even though she said in a couple of episodes, I think in the beginning, she's got board members and all that, and she couldn't just fire her. Shut up. Shut up. So I think it was an inappropriate conversation. Then she's talking about, Ralph, did you cheat? Portia asks. Of course he's going to say he didn't. They ask, why did you file for divorce? Why in the world are you asking those type of questions? If Drew went around Simon asking that, it would have been World War III. You don't mind spreading stuff about Drew and making her look like a whore. You won't go confront her about it. Because later on in the scene, he's talking about, it's just growth that I just don't even want to argue. But when have you had to argue? People have fought your battles. You've just been able to play victim with stronger personalities than you and then claim you're being bullied. And your fans go run after them. Now that you think that you're stronger than this girl, you think that you can bully her, but none of your fans are going to call you out for bullying Drew. And Drew, you don't help yourself because you're not that truthful. I can tell you that much. And you make yourself look like you're lying. That's the thing that is eating people up. Is like, there's only so much we can do to try to defend you. And I don't even like you like that. But I'm trying to defend you on this because I don't think that you're doing all this stuff. And you are a foul human being. And Shamia is too. I don't even care that y'all not, whatever. I spent way too much time on the scene, but it's just like, what the crap? You are a foul individual. Because you're the one that was saying, I don't have any support anywhere. Remember that? Even in the earlier scenes, you were crying about something and nobody's supporting me, even though you get all the support all the time. I forgot what the scene was. But this was like episode 3 or 4 or something, but whatever. Y'all are trash. And Shamia, since you want to be a part of that, you're trash too. And there's no reason for you to get involved in this. And I can't believe it. I'm going to say something about this group in just a few minutes. But anyways, let's move on. Angela meets with Kelly. Of course, Kelly is nervous because of how she acted during the Bailey cue when she was talking about the side baby. Angela finally breaks everything down. We already heard some of it on the radio, and there's nobody that can prove her wrong. So if anyone thinks that she's lying, that's on you, but you probably just think that she's lying in support of your faves. Angela breaks down this whole thing. There is no secret baby. There was a time period that we already talked about the Wendy Williams stuff. We're not doing that. She said it. There was a time period where Charles was cheating on her, and they took a break from each other. It was around the time of the whole Madison Square Gardens. So that helps me to understand what was going on as to why she needed therapy. Remember, she said that in episodes before. It was just like too many pieces. I don't know if that was editing or not. She may have said it right up front, but I believe that she did. It's just how the story's being told. But Angela said, look, this is what happened. And there was a lot of women, especially in the first part of our relationship. There were a lot of women. Angela was confronting them, and they were telling her to, you need to talk to Charles and all that. I think after a while, he got his ish together, and he came back home. And I think this is the reason for their problems, but with the family. But hey, Angela chose to stand by him after he got himself together, and I think she called him his best friend, her best friend, I think, but whatever. So then Angela goes on to start talking about Shamia to Kelly, and how Shamia has said certain things in private, which I think should have stayed in private. Since you said it the way that you said it, Angela, if that was a private conversation, it should have been stayed in private, in my opinion. But I don't fault you in what's going on in their relationship. So things were said in regards to Shamia not feeling like Portia wanted her in the group, blah, 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 blah. And some other things. Well, Kelly said that, well, I think that Angela needs to just mind her own business. When do you mind your own business, Kelly? Because you're going right to Shamia about what Angela said. So when did you mind your business? Like, that doesn't make sense. And people are talking about you because people are like, there's something about Kelly. I'm paying attention now to you, Kelly, and it seems like some people say that you're playing both sides, or you will run to person to person to person, gather information, and then you go and gossip about it. You're that Ashley Darby. Probably you're more of a smooth criminal with it than more than what Ashley be doing. So it's not that obvious, and people don't really have their radar on you. Y'all can tell me what you think about that. But yeah, I really would like to talk about this group. I may do that during the after show because I think I'm going to review that. From there, Angela has invited Portia over, and it's with one of her investment properties, and they play tennis. Angela said, in no way, no how, am I going to allow a woman to come into my home after you said that you can come and F Charles. You're going to have to meet me someplace else. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. Portia meets her daughter. They start talking. Angela talks about some of the things her and her daughter have went through, the secret marriage and all that. Her daughter has expressed that Angela is his helicopter mom. And that's why she was in fear of not telling her about her marriage. And she's married to a woman. And I didn't know that. So that's cool. That's new information. Then they got on Drew, I think. She started saying, Perfect Portia started saying that Dennis sent her a text about Drew saying that she wanted to F him in order to get the beats and for her to be our producer and all that. And so was like, no, that's not Drew. There's no way. And Portia was like, look, I'm glad that you're here, at least that you can not just hear her side, that you can hear my side. That's cool. But of course she's going to run it by Drew. And then Shamia's brought up. Shamia has been expressing that I think that she wants to say some things to you, but she's afraid to bring it up, but that you didn't want her in this group and da-da-da-da-da. She said, well, we already talked about this before, and I know that your husband did not want to film, and that's why you have not been on the show, and you would be in the friend capacity. And all that good stuff. So Portia started crying. So according to her, this is just too much stress that she can handle. I still don't understand why Perfect Portia is the only one that's going through. Always has to walk out of scenes. Always this, always that. Everybody got to lift you up. I don't get it. Other people are going through. Now, I just want to say this. Now, I don't care what she's going through. Not for real. She asked for it. She's getting what she asked for. I could be in consideration. Okay, she could be going through a lot of stress. But you know what show you are on. You've been a part of this show forever and a day. And you still think that you get to show up any kind of way and walk out of scenes and all this other stuff. It's always her. It's always her. Drew has yet to walk out of the scene because of too much stress. At least with these jokers. She's handled things more privately. Then we go to the Pamper Portia thing. I don't understand the theme or whatever theme it was, but shout out to Mr. Eric Robinson. I appreciate him getting his due. He did the emergency photo shoot for the season 14 cast when they didn't like the cast photo. They wanted to do something else. He's the one that did that. So shout out to Mr. Eric Robinson. He is the photographer and is helping Pampered by Portia to do something different than what it has been for the past, since season 7, since we heard about it. So everything is about pampering. Maybe that's the part that I'm missing and should acknowledge. They're doing massages and all of that. Now, Sinus, why do you show up in so many places looking naked? This is about sheets. I'm just saying, were you that humiliated? Were you that humiliated when Kenya did what she did in episode 6 or 5, whichever one? Were you that humiliated? And I'll leave it there. And then, Kelly, you show up like you're a Victoria's Secret model. Anyways, there's photographs being taken, and Drew's asking some questions. Like, are we being ambassadors? Because we didn't sign no contract for all that. So nobody knows. Because I definitely would be asking. And Drew says, I know that she was making money when I was an ambassador for Go Naked Hair. Like, I don't see anyone else being an ambassador. So if y'all know, let me know. Because it's either Portia or Drew that has ever done anything for the business, as far as I know. But hey, like, yeah, I think low key she's doing this because she's like, is this going to be just for us to post on Instagram, or are we doing a shout out for Pampered by Portia? What are we doing? And she put the Pampered by Portia sheets while they took the photograph. So whatever. They take a little break. Kelly runs her mouth with Shamia about what Angela's been saying and all that. That instantly pisses off Shamia. And she's wanting to know what's going on as to why, whatever. How come she didn't come to me about all this? I'm finding out she was in Cheers, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We get a flashback that Angela told Drew about what was going on and what Portia was saying that you had going on, that what Dennis was saying, that you were trying to F him in exchange of whatever, beats or whatever. So that hurt Shamia. So they go into this meditation thing. Shamia's not feeling it. Honestly, I feel like Shamia should have left, in my opinion. But anyway, she stayed. Kelly sees her. She goes over to her and they talk a little bit. I guess it's disrupting the flow. So then Portia's like, shh, shh. Portia said that since she's dealing with so much stress in her life, there's some things I just don't even want to talk about. I don't get that. I don't get that. I just don't get why you get to punk out of every situation on this show. You get to hold the atmosphere hostage by being, kiss my ass. Okay? You get to do that. If this wasn't Nene Jr. season 11, I don't know what is. But that's America's sweetheart. Angela opens up. She talks about Portia and them. Hopefully they can move forward, blah, 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 blah. She says that I think that there has been some things that with Shamia that she's been wanting to tell you, and she's been more afraid to speak up in regards to that. They get in. I think Kelly ended up saying, I admire their friendship, and I think that there's some things that they need to speak up about. Angela said this, da-da-da-da-da. Portia starts having a conversation with Kelly, and Shamia's like, well, when am I going to speak in regards to this? Because it's about me, because I haven't. Shamia basically says that anything that I told these ladies, I've already told you in private, da-da-da-da-da. So there's nothing to go on. So I don't even understand why I come here and find out that there's something that you're feeling towards me from someone else. And I don't think that I'm getting the same respect, da-da-da-da-da. They talk about the wedding for Shamia. Portia says that she did not come to the wedding because at least a month or two prior, we weren't on good terms, which we know that's a lie. It's documented. So as Shamia is trying to say, you're saying, why are you saying this? Then she said, well, she didn't say it like that, but yeah, I could not sit in front seat. And then anytime Portia is given the truth, she gonna find a way to act like what she said was what she was talking about. You said what you said up front, and you know that was a lie. Y'all hated when Candy was around, because Candy would blow you out of the water and tell you the truth as to what was going on. But anyways, at this point, Shamia's upset because she doesn't feel like she's getting the same respect. I always shut it down when people talk about you, Portia, and you have something else going on, and you felt very comfortable talking with someone that you just made up with that you barely know. I'm gonna say this. I don't know what side I'm on. I just know that Portia will lie. And I'm going to see what happens in the next episode to get my final determination, because if this little one disagreement of someone saying that they feel this type of way got y'all like that, where y'all couldn't even talk to each other, then there's been something festering there this whole time. And as I said on social media, I know y'all gonna try it and say that Angela and Kelly are the ones that broke up this friendship. No, there's been something that needed to be said a long time ago, and it's been brewing, and now it's come to head. For some reason, y'all are so invested in this Portia and Shamia relationship, and somehow thinking, oh, Cynthia, you need to cut ties with Kenya, as if they weren't real friends. But whatever, y'all do this every week. Anyways, don't try it with this whole blaming Angela. That friendship has been whack. It's been lopsided for a very long time. But y'all give me your comments and what y'all think in the comments below, because it's been a long time coming. And I know a change is going to come. How I feel about this group, it's not going to survive. It's not going to survive the way that they're operating. They're new people, but they're not even trying to get to know each other. But anyways, thank you for coming by. Like, comment, subscribe. And until the next one, peace.